Mr. Green, appreciate your service. Is your role, let's see, Deputy Assistant Secretary for Human Capital and Diversity, Chief Human Capital Officer, Department of Interior. Man, is your business card like the size of legal paper? That's a title. So in your role as Deputy Assistant Secretary for Human Capital and Diversity, Chief Human Capital Officer, Department of Interior, your policies, you don't only oversee telework, but you also oversee diversity, equity, inclusion, correct?
My role is really over the telework policies and remote work policies, human capital related things, but not necessarily the equity.
Diversity and equity and inclusion it is included in that.
That's included in my title due to the fact of our candidate pools for hiring.
What I want to get to real quick, because man, 5 minutes flies. So in a memo to the Fish and Wildlife Service employees, Martha Williams is the director. She wrote that diversity, equity, inclusion work was her #1 priority. Now, Mr. Green, can you please explain why the Fish and Wildlife Service is prioritizing DEI initiatives ahead of the service's stated mission, which is to conserve, protect, enhance fish, wildlife, plants, and their habitats?
The department and the administration prioritize diversity, equity, inclusion, and it is an important aspect of all we do.
That's their #1 priority.
But for Fish and Wildlife, I cannot answer specifically why
let's talk in general terms then. Do you think the Fish and Wildlife Service should prioritize DEI initiatives over conserving, protecting fish, wildlife, and their habitats?
I think it should be a priority that supports that mission.
So like also in March of last year, the Fish and Wildlife Service, they excluded participation in DEI groups from their service caps, which allows about 2 hours for employees to use for, during work hours for resources and employee organization type meetings. So as a result, Fish and Wildlife Service employees, they can spend as much time as they want on DEI initiatives instead of working in their official on-duty duties. Can you explain why participation in DEI employee organizations are excluded from the service cap?
No, I cannot. I'll have to take that question back, and we could get you an answer for that.
So how does unlimited participation in DEI groups serve the American taxpayer who pay service employees to protect fish, wildlife, and habitats?
Our mission delivery to the American public is the #1 priority, and DEIA is an administration priority that fits into all that we do on that mission delivery.
Give them unlimited on DEI, but it's capped at 2 hours on what their mission is. Okay. Mr. Green, you know, I'm sure you would agree with me that since humans are part of the animal kingdom, correct? And you and the Fish and Wildlife Service is focused hard on DEI. So I'm going to ask you, have you seen any evidence of lack of diversity, equity, and inclusion in other animals in the animal kingdom? Say like maybe the rainbow trout, horny toad, the red cockaded woodpecker?
I'm not an expert on all of those things, so I won't be able to answer that question.
What I thought. Mr. Chairman, I would have asked about the common cockchafer, but his department doesn't have any jurisdiction over them since they live in England. So with that, I'm going to yield back the balance of my time.